Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Love, great to see you. Here's the old tuning fork. Let's give a little bit of A440 love here for myself. Just tuning up the guitar this morning, just coming off of a really busy weekend and really looking forward to this this morning ritual for guitar growth. Yeah. We received some new gear this weekend, and that was always, at the end of the week, that's always an exciting time, as you may know. But if you're just tuning in, if you haven't been here before, I'm Jason, and I'm your host this morning. If you decide to stick around, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth, which I do every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, where I do work on breath techniques, tuning techniques, posture, and finally guitar technique and guitar warming up. I've been working on defining this for myself. I'm just going to talk like I'm thinking out loud here, and that's a good thing for me. You know, it's a good practice, but it's, you know, better for better or worse for you. You may enjoy it, you might not enjoy it. It's not for everybody. Come to find out, it's really not for everybody. It's an open invitation, but you know, some will see the value in it, many will see the value in it, and many will not. And that's just the way this works. So if you are here, I definitely, you know, I certainly appreciate you being here and you spending down your seat time. So if you could do me a huge favor and just smash that like button, or click the like button if you're new here. If you do have questions over the course, I'll mention this again, over the span of this morning's ritual, you can go ahead and grab your guitar. I'll be here for about an hour until about 8:30 a.m. And yeah, plenty of time to grab the guitar, to grab the battle axe. And I do appreciate reading the emails that are coming in, and it's just wonderful to hear from you. So thank you very much for spending your time to articulate those wonderful thoughts, and maybe we'll get to reading some of those here in the live chat. Not the live chat, the live stream. Here we go. Pardon me. All right. Yeah. All right. So here's what's going on. Working through the tuning. I'm not tuning the guitar, you know, with the usual fret 5, 5, 5, 4, and 5. You know, I'm working on tuning it that way too, but I'm also working on harmonics, like natural harmonics, so that I can remove the fret, the need to fret the instrument. Any pressure theoretically that I apply, we exert downward on the string, creates a little extra tension on the string, and that little bit of tension can knock the string especially out of tune, especially if we have the string and we're pulling down on it or pushing up on it. You know, that will definitely influence whether we are actually in tune or not. So this is, you know, this is all stuff that you might already know, and I just invite you to feel welcome. This is a place to stretch out a little bit, get the guitar hat on for the day, right? And it just takes a little bit of time. Yeah. And you got to be here for yourself. You know, you're not really here for anyone else. It's not a party. This is the thing that we typically would do in silence on our own, right? This is typically the practice that we would do behind the scenes and save the practiced and the well-polished stuff for selling tickets to somebody, right? Selling the tickets to an audience. So I'm making this free. If you don't already know, I'm making this free for the entire year of 2025. Good Lord willing, right? So I'm going to walk us through a bunch of different things today. Most of these things, I refer to as things, are actually chromatic-style finger warm-ups. And we're just walking with fingers 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12. I'm going to set my intention for this morning's practice. This morning's not practice, but morning's warm-up. And the warm-up is different in my mind from a practice, as we've been talking about for the past few days. And the warm-up is different for me. I don't tend to do a whole lot of discovery, running about, and I don't reserve warm-up time for that. I reserve warm-up time to get my head on straight, get my body rhythms sort of lined up with my breath. And I just try to go through this ritual, this process of ceremony of removing my person from the musical experience, right? So trying not to block what might be coming to me from the universe, and all of those things that, people talk about, high-level players talk about. They aspire to play the music from the muse directly, tap into the thing that's coming from above or another place, right? And to me, the warm-up section is, the warm-up period of my day is that, right? So 1E and 2, we have 60 beats per minute. As you've heard the metronome is over here. The metronome is our good friend, and I guess companion, along with our guitars being our companions. So if you're new, then let's go ahead and break that 60 beats per minute down into, 4 attacks per beat. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1. Let's start with and 1 or 2 attacks per beat this morning. I know I feel like 4 attacks per beat would probably be better for some of you, but 2 attacks per beat is fine for me this morning. 1 and 2, and down, up, down, up. We have fingers 3 and 4 on frets. In case you don't know, finger 1 is the old, finger 1, the dominant finger. 2, 3, and 4, and then the thumb is usually labeled with a T. All right, so we're starting with fingers 3 and 4 on 10 and 12. We're going up the position. I'm just going to get started, and you can grab your guitar and play along if you like. This is where the rubber meets the road right here. This stuff, by stuff again, I'm referring to chromatic-style finger exercises. This stuff really makes a difference in your guitar life, in a guitar life. So I'll just use myself and the thousands of students I've trained over the decades, and some are very highly successful, world touring, playing really nice venues, Burning Man, playing some really crazy venues across the world, and then, Warped Tour, some of these people are fairly accomplished players, and some are just beginning or just wondering about the guitar when they meet me. Some are middle-aged and want to find something new to do with their lives and to have something to show for it. The time that's being spent down instead of watching TV, the television, and for a decade of, having nothing to show for it after 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of watching the tube, they've decided they want to learn a craft, play the guitar, or whatever else it is, but when they come to me, it's usually about the guitar, right? So it's guitar related. And sometimes it's even 2 attacks per beat at 60 beats per minute is too much. So let's try 1 attack per beat just for a moment, just to see what that does for us. Is my ADHD going to get it, or ADD, or whatever it is they call it, is it going to get away from me? Or am I going to start thinking about going to the store and buying bread instead of actually focusing on my breath? So the breath and the posture are 2 critical elements, right? So the breath helps us to relieve tension that mounts anywhere in our bodies, right? And then the breath and the posture, once those are sort of intact, now we can start thinking about touch. We can start thinking about touch and how we don't need to slam on the guitar. You know, we can, you know, if you're auditioning for the Deftones, or you wanted to go on tour with Pantera, you know what I mean? And I mean, you might want to slam on your guitar. But really good quality tone. Any experienced or seasoned player, what they'll share with you is, oh, I'm supposed to be doing quarter notes here. Just to try it out. 1 note per beat. 1 single attack per beat. Trying to get that pick stroke through the string at precisely the moment the lightning strikes the tower, right? And as you all know, getting Back to the Future is not an easy feat. Right, a lot of things have to line up for that lightning, that pick to strike at just the right moment when that click happens. And some of us completely ignore the click, just let it run in the background for whatever reason and just play around it and not even observe it, but just like to hear it in the background, and it's not even related to the playing. And that's okay. You know, if that's how you're doing it, that's great too. And one day you may decide that you want to use the metronome to click to govern your speed and agility, and but until that day passes, then you don't need to worry about it. But I like to use the metronome for the purposes of feeling like I'm walking down the road when I practice on a nice sunny afternoon. There's been some solar benefit to the brick buildings in the downtown, in the pavement, so you can feel the warmth radiating all around you, right? And that is a beautiful 60 beats per minute, just nice walk, just a really good cadence to maintain down the street, right? Yeah. And then when we approach 2 attacks per beat, I'm still walking at the same rate of speed, but then I'm just working on just attacking I'm just working on subdividing my time into just more equal pieces, right? And I'm leaning side by side, just side to side, just to exaggerate the motion. You could just do a head tilt, a head duck, just kind of suture your way into that tempo, but careful not to just lose your posture and your breath along the way. 1 and 2 E and T, and same thing with fingers 1 and 2. That's right. If you stick around, we're going to borrow some more elements from Steve Vai's very famous 10-hour guitar workout. We're going to borrow a couple things from that. We're going to continue our pentatonic study. I was hoping to work on some cycle 4 sequencing this morning for warm-ups, introduce introducing some tonicism, diatonicism. If you have questions about any of the things that I'm referencing in this video, you can always reach me at jason@jasoncareyguitar.com if you have questions. Or if you would like to offer encouragement, or something like that. It's always great to hear from you. Right. Yes, but right now, maybe make a note of that idea. Here's the way I would work with it. I'd make a note. If I have a question, I'll pause for a brief moment, and then I'll write it down on, I always have I have my notebook right here, and a pencil, and a good quality eraser, because I erase a lot. And then before that idea, I could swear to God that I'll remember the idea after the practice. Then I'll go email the question off to the instructor or the mentor or whatever. And then at the end of the practice, I could not for the life of me remember what my question was. So I have to write the things down. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I have to write it down. So you can, if you want, I don't know how seriously you want to take this, but you can take this as seriously or as, with levity, All right, so let's take a look at fingers 2 and 4, frets 9 and 12. Here we go. We're going to kick it up to triplets today. 3 attacks per beat and 1, dun, 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 down. So this introduces a new thing. But write down that question if you have a question. And make sure that if you do end up emailing us at Jason, so it's growth@jasoncareyguitar.com. If with any questions you have, write down your questions as we're practicing, and then after this practice or the warm-up is done, then just hammer us an email if you like, All right, here we go. Fingers 2 and 4 on frets 9 and 12. And what happens when I use triplets, it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm alternating. Every time I say 1, it's alternating between the down, up, 2, 3, 1, 2, right. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. It's a little faster than what I was playing. Here we go. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Here we go. And I'm still walking at 60 beats per minute avenue. And if you want, you can even try it with a little smile on your face and see what that does. My guess is it will feel really good, and it will help you to play better and feel better. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. That's right, just really simple stuff. Really simple stuff goes a long way in this game. Let's try fingers 1 and 3. 1 E in, 1 2 2 gun gang get down D in. Here we go. 9 and 12 again, and then working the down ups, alternating alternating pick strokes with the picking hand, because we don't typically work the alternating pick strokes with the fret hand, do we? I have a question for you. Why do you play the guitar? That's just a really interesting question. It kind of aligns with what I chose for my morning intention before I started practicing this morning. You could, if you wanted to answer or contribute to that survey, you can visit jasoncareyguitar.com. There's a form there. You just fill out the form and you basically subscribe to the email list. The email list is pretty cool, you know, it's not too spammy, full of good quality information from a thoughtful, caring guitar tutor. Here we go. Let's go ahead. I think I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit warmed up now. And if you're here, if you just, could you do me a favor and just smash that like button or double tap the screen? That'd be, I really appreciate that for certain. She never mentions the word addiction in certain company. She'll tell you she's an orphan after you meet her family. Yeah, there are all kinds of ways to play tunes, you know. One of the songs that I really want to cover, I think I'm going to put a cover together of Sweet Child of Mine, because it's one of those songs that I think it feels to me like it's a standard. It's turned in, for me, it's turned into like one of those jazz standards, How High the Moon, All the Things You Are. I mean, I'm not sure if it's in the same class, but it's in a similar status with me, you know? It's in a similar area for me. So I think I'm going to produce with the team, I'm going to produce Sweet Child of Mine. So I don't know if you have ever played the song, but I'm sure you played the song, and it's like one of my favorites. I remember when it came out, it was like one of my all-time greatest memories, just working that. And I usually stretch every 15 minutes, so this is what I'm leading into as a stretch. Just a 16 beat here, 16 beats here, 16 clicks here, 16 clicks here. And if you see my fingers, if you're just new here, if you see my fingers look fun, my fingernails look funny, they're actually shaped like little ramps, because that's I use the Pierre Ben Suzanne, or sort of like the, you know, I like to use Fingerstyle, but I use my fingers so that they're all, when I do Fingerstyle, I keep them shaped so that it's the shape of the fingernails are consistent with the manner in which I dress the guitar strings, right? So I don't keep my fingers up straight like this because, oh, hey, only one finger would get all the action, you know? So to provide an equitable experience and fair unit, fair trade here, I've got this really cool idea where I keep all of the fingers on the same plane, so I'll file them all at the same level, just so you know. You know, fingerstyle's cool too. Fingerstyle lives matter, you know. And so that's what I would do. I would keep these all together and be very careful to keep lateral rigidity in all of the fingers, so they don't, like, when I'm going this way over the file, one finger doesn't drag and saw the end off this nail, you know, or go the other way and saw the other end off that nail. So I want very specific shapes. So if you happen to notice my fingernails, that's what's going on. It's actually intentional. But yeah, I think I think of working on a standard, like trying to rearrange Sweet Child of Mine would be a good, I don't know if you check, if you're one who checks like ASCAP or BMI, like how many times people have covered certain songs, like, let's say Time After Time by Cynthia, Ms. Lauper. What's her real name, right? So there's all this really great information that you can kind of get just by visiting ASCAP and BMI. BMI is a good membership program, especially for musicians, real musicians who aren't AI, that might be helpful. Aspiring real musicians, right? But I wonder how many times, I'll have to look at it. Sweet Child of Mine has been covered, I'm sure it's got to be hundreds of times, right? What would you do with the song? The lyrics are ripe where you could take that song anywhere you want to. The song could literally become a vehicle, a van, 15-passenger van. You could put the whole band in and just drive that song anywhere you want to drive it. Yeah, that's what I mean by standard, I think. It could be interpreted in a multitude of ways, a myriad application. Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and just kind of do this. Be sure we're breathing in and out. Just got to remind myself, Jason, to breathe in and breathe out. That's right. And just wait until after we're finished with this stretch. I'm telling you what, your hands are going to feel brand new. Your hands and your arms are going to just say, thank you. I was waiting for this feeling. So we have to go through the first period of warming up, to get into the passive stretching. And then once we do our initialization with passive stretch, man, everything else just feels great in the morning. Like, I start with a yoga, like a, half an hour or something like that of yoga. So I've already been doing the old down dog, the old, pigeon, the old lizard. I've been doing the old table, chair, all of that morning salutation, sun salutation kind of stuff. But I work through different programs. I don't always do the same thing because I work different parts of my body. That's before I start with my guitar in the morning. The ritual is, that's my pre-stretch for the guitar morning, the guitar start. What about you? Are you doing anything cool with the guitar? Working on any cool songs? Anybody know this song? Hard to play it at 60 beats per minute, especially if you know this song, you can email me at growth@jasoncareyguitar.com. We can reminisce about where we've seen this song played. Sloppy, but it's nonetheless, it's still one of my, one of my all-time favorite tunes. Speaking of all-time favorite tunes, you know. Right, so let's jump back into fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip over fingers 2, 3, and 4 today so we can just get moving right along. So if you're just joining, I'm Jason, and I'm here with Jason Carey Guitar, and right here on YouTube. I do a live stream every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. For the entire year of 2025, it's free, so if you'd like to spend down some seat time with me and get warmed up on your guitar for the day or afternoon or wherever you might be watching around the world, you can jump on board and let's play some guitar together. All right, so starting with fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on 9, 10, 11, and 12, I'm working down, up, jumping back into 16th notes or 4 attacks per beat. Let's do it. 1, 2, and a T, E, and a 4, E, That's right. Yeah, I certainly would appreciate if you wouldn't mind just giving us a, you know, a like the video, smash the like button, or if you know someone else who might be a guitar player who could benefit from this time on the guitar, you know, likes to warm up on the guitar daily, you know, that this might be a good thing to share with them too. But you know, whether I have 1 viewer or 1,000 viewers, I plan on, you know, I'm here every day, every weekday morning anyway, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and just working on building up my guitar practice, you know, my guitar. As a guitar practitioner, the first thing I like to do in the morning so that the rest of my day is sort of music or guitar forward, excuse me, is to clear my throat thoroughly in the morning. But no, it's to just to play the guitar, just to get the guitar going. And just to get the hands moving, the synapses firing, and the breath going, the posture upright, and ready to seize that thing we call a day, right? You know, 1 rotation. So 1 rotation on. Good, same thing, but now we'll do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, but we'll stretch the 4th finger up to fret 13. 9, 10, 11, 13, 1, E, and a 2, and a E, and go. That's right. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, you know, I did have a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. And I sincerely hope you have a beautiful day after we part ways at 8:30 today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope we all can just send prayers that there be, you know, world peace. You know, I think now is as good a time as any to pray for peace. And it's really easy to just try to place the blame and shift the focus. But, you know, right now, most important thing for me to do is warm up on the guitar. And you know why it's so important for me to warm up on the guitar right now? Even though there is, you know, the world at large is, you know, always moving and always sort of doing its thing. Little old me is not seeking this as a refuge, but I'm seeking this warm-up time as a place to build myself up, to build my character, to build my continuity of my playing, to maintain a perishable skill, and that comes at no low cost, really. I mean, it's a free live stream every morning, every weekday morning. But the trick is I've got to spend my time, right? I can't have someone else. I mean, I could prompt AI and have it do all of the stuff for me and never have to record another thing. But it's hard to you got to do the thing yourself. You got to spend the seat time, you know. That's what I've found, is I've got to spend the seat time down. So I'm doing the same thing with fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, but now I've kicked my finger back. So I'm doing the kickstand. This is for Jill and the gang. You know, I'm not sure if you're still with me or not, but I certainly do appreciate the history that this live channel had, this live stream has had over the past year. But this is really just designed to be, simply put, seat time and then quality practice time for the self, you know. So I don't know if that is something you're looking for, but it's definitely something I'm heavily invested in right now. After this, I have a 12-hour schedule, a daily schedule that is very guitar forward. You know, it's all organized as guitar forward. And then if you wanted to do something, you know, as a guitarist, you don't need to do all of that work. You don't need to do 12 hours a day, or 8 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. You know, it could be 5 minutes a day. Consistent 5 minutes a day would be more effective than 2 hours once a week, right? So if we can just continue to get with it, have these little intervals of practice, that continuity is really important, you know, then that's more valuable and more effective than practicing once, you know, 1 hour or 2 hours every, you know, once a week, right? So let's go ahead. Where are we at? Oh yeah, I like to do this one because Steve Vai is like a, you know, Steve Vai was a huge influence on me in my early game, right? And not just me, but a lot of guitar players of this generation, and still of the current generation. So it's, you know, he's just like he's an original player, right? Guthrie Govan's another wonderfully talented player, you know. You know, there are so many wonderfully talented players to mention. And then, you know, I have a friend, Ben, you know, all he likes to do at the moment is play around his campfire. And it's like, you can't blame a person for wanting to play around a campfire, right? And it's like, it doesn't, you know, life doesn't get a whole lot better than that. I don't, you know, for some of us. You know, of course, it's all in the eye of the beholder, but to have a rip-in fire, you know, or you know, as Willie Nelson's talking about embers glowing, you know, blue eyes crying in the rain. So, I mean, it's just about being in touch and aware of the world around us. So, part of what this rehearsal, this warm-up is that for me. Just putting me back in touch after one night of slumber and putting me back in touch with a nice visitation of the guitar. So here we go. And oh, let's stretch that 1 and 4. Let's get that stretched out. So 7 and 12. 1 E and do and E and ba. Here we go. Big finger stretch, big ask, huge ask for some of us, but we do it nonetheless. We attempt it anyway. The thumb is in the middle of fingers 1 and 4. Well done, my friend. So what else? All right, so let's go ahead and just start getting into the minor pentatonic shape that we all know and love so well, and we'll parallel plane that up and down the guitar neck, because we'll use fingers 4-1, 4-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 1-4, 1-4, and then 3 1-3s, and then 2 more 1-4s. So let's do that one more time, just so we got it. Just working the old minor pentatonic angle. It's the scale that we all know. We have to keep this one maintained because it just offers us so much. Good. Yeah. Maybe the blue scale, once in a while the blue note shifts, finds its way in there, right there. All right, that's about enough of that one. And where are we at for time? 15 minutes. We have about 15 minutes left, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it through all of the stuff I wanted to make it through today. Let's just take a look at what happens if we play. I like to work arpeggios too. I like to use arpeggios in my warm-up sequence. So I would use major arpeggios. We could use patterns, we can do all kinds of things, but it starts with 1, 3, 5 on the C chord, right? So 8, 7, 8 on the low E string, 7 on the A string, and then fret 10 on the A string. And these are great things to know. This helps us to understand, like, just get across the span of the guitar neck instead of playing positionally like most of us. We'll play like the minor pentatonic scale. And then we'll just kind of, end up playing the position. When we start playing arpeggios like this, arpeggios, we have this 1, 3, 5 pattern. It's a pattern that moves from the 2-string grouping of the string grouping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have string grouping 5, and then to string grouping 1, 2, 3, and then string grouping 1. Same exact pattern, right? And we know from basic music theory that if we add the major 7, which is the 7, which is just underneath, in this case, the root note, then we have the 7, 1, 7, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5. Oh, what happens when I don't pay attention to where my first finger is going on the descent? I can't make it back down, so I'm paying careful attention to fingers 1. That's it. Finger 1 is on position number 9 here, or number 3, 5, 7, right? It'd help if I could count. So 3, 5, 7. Then I move up to position number 9. Then I move up to position number 12. So knowing this about that shape, knowing that I'm in position 12, I can use that 5, 3, 1, 7, then shift back to position 9 and use that 5, 3, 1, 7, and shift back to position number 7, 5, 3, 1, 7, and then I'm assured that I will be in the right position for each segment of that 3 stays arpeggio. Okay, so that's really cool to me. That's awesome for me. It's worth the price of admission. The next one I have to talk about if I'm going to run these things through the cycle 4 sequence, right? This is where it gets a little challenging. So I have root 6 voicings here. Then root 5 voicings are next. So I could use the 1 3 5 1 3 5 1 3 5 or 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5, right, on root 6. But when I move that from C to up to F, the key of F major, then I have 1 3 5 1 3 0. That B string's tuned differently, right? Yeah, not a big fan of having to do this. You know, I'm just going to change the finger. It's going to simplify things so much for me if I just simply adjust the fingering, right? 1 3 5. Here's the new pattern. Much easier for me. 1 4. So I'm moving up whole, whole, and then to a major third, and then up a minor third to, so from F to A to C. Yeah, and then I'm moving up, and then 1 3 5, and we have to, you know, change the shape a little bit because of the D string, but no worries. And again, I'm more concerned about which position am I playing in. So fret position number 8 at this moment, and then position 10 at this moment, and then position 13 at that moment. And then 1 3 1 3 5 1 3 5, and then 1 3, and then we could get that 22nd, that's fret up there for the C, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. One thing I didn't disclose yet is I'm going to grab that 5 in the bass, and then that will illustrate the that will illustrate a new program for us, right? So we have 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3, right? Remember how we had the 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 for the C major 7. Now I have the 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 for the root 5 voicing. Good? You see where we're going with this stuff, right? We've got all kinds of room to really explore. This is our sonic playground, and it really works out our fret hands pretty well. Do you know what I mean? I've got to stretch one more pass on the stretches here, so if you need to jump off, you're more than welcome to, but I'm coming back. If you do want to stick around, I'm just going to zip through the rest of the minor pentatonic shapes. I just wanted to get introducing that major 7 cycle 4 sequencing for those major 7 arpeggios that are systematic, right? They're patternistic and they're super approachable, but they sound super freaky, you know. Good. Well, this is different with quiet, isn't it? It's quiet. It's very nice to just be quiet. I'm just doing my last stretch and getting ready to finish up with some pentatonicism, and then we'll be done for the morning and on to the next part of our day. Oh yeah, don't forget abdominal strength, strong back, weak mind, everything you need to be a great guitar player. No, for real though, it's good that you're showing up, and I'm really thankful that if you made it to the end of this session, I'm really thankful that you're tuning in and that you're playing along with us here at jasoncareyguitar.com for the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm Jason. I do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's free. And I mean, it only costs you your seat time, so that's not bad, right? It's just a matter of getting with the guitar, sitting with the guitar, practicing through, warming up with your guitar. If that's something you're into doing, we could do that together. Or you could take, if you feel like inclined, you could take what you need from these sessions and then bring some new information into your, maybe you're breathing some new fresh life into your own morning warm-ups, right? All right, let's go ahead and just working through the pentatonic stuff. I'm just going to do hammer-ons and pull-offs. Just working on getting this thing all around the guitar neck, just dispersing it, just working patterns. So finding some two different approaches to this position here. So we could use this note down here, or we could use this note up here. that's about it for this morning. I'm feeling like we're getting close enough to being like warmed up and ready to go for the day. So I think I'm ready to start practicing today, and I hope you are too. And if you do have any questions you'd like to ask, you're more than welcome to do this. You can visit me at jasoncareyguitar.com, and that form right there helps you can answer that. It also puts you on places you want an email list, a newsletter, that where we don't do the spammy thing. You know, it's not like you're going to get blasted, and we definitely don't sell the thing. So, but if you do have questions, you could certainly, you know, sign up there, or you could email me directly at growth@jasoncareyguitar.com. If you in the subject line put something like morning ritual for guitar growth, that way it will go to the right email box, or we'll get the right message. But if you have questions or comments, you would like to share something, a story, or photographs of your guitars, you're always more than welcome to do that. So we can look at on my posts part of the page here, we could take a look at the guitars of the morning ritual, so we know which guitars are participating in the morning ritual. So send us your picture, your guitar pics, and I do hope that you have a wonderful day. I do hope that you have a great guitar experience, and I hope you're achieving all of your goals. And I guess until we meet again, I'll wish you happy picking, friends. Yeah. So see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 maybe. All right.